Yeah, obviously they are still interested in Dan Bentley. It was a bit of a cheeky offer, really, 50 grand. I don't think there was any chance that Wolves would accept that for their number two goalkeeper. This is all stemming from Arsenal looking potentially a second choice or a third choice goalkeeper this summer transfer window, with doubts still surrounding the future of Aaron Ramsdale. I think it all stems from Arsenal looking to bring in a homegrown goalkeeper to boost the quota that you need. I think you need 8 homegrown players in your 25-man squad. And I think that's part of the reason why they're looking at English goalkeepers. We've seen what Manchester City have done. They've got Scott Carson on the books, and he signed a new deal in the summer as well. So he's happy there to be third choice keeper at the Etihad. We've seen Newcastle bring in John Ruddy as well to be number 3 at St James's Park, again, boost the homegrown quota and everything else. So I think there's a bit of that behind why Arsenal are looking at Dan Bentley as well. I thought he did okay when he played for Wolves last season, when he was given a run in the side. So I think he wouldn't be a bad fit for Arsenal. He was previously at the club as well as a youngster, so he has got a connection with the club, and he also has a relationship with the goalkeeping coach, Inaki Pena, who has quite an influential role at Arsenal. He was key behind David Raya's signing, and I think obviously he is keen to bring Dan Bentley to the club as well. So for Wolves, they've got a decision to make on what they want to do. I don't think anything's going to be imminent on this one, because there has been a bit of speculation over Jose Sá's long-term future at Wolves as well. So if he was to leave, they won't want to let Dan Bentley go as well, because it will leave them really short in the goalkeeping department. But I'm sure Arsenal will be looking to maybe increase that offer for Bentley and try and persuade Wolves to cash in on him.
Paul, what do you think Dan will be saying about this current situation? And will silverware be on his mind at all with the potential move to Arsenal on the cards?
Well, you look at his career, look where he's from, and he started his career at Arsenal. So to go back there, where would you rather be a number 2 or number 3, Wolves or Arsenal? It's a no-brainer. And Pete's hit the nail on the head. It's just another English player in the quota. He's not going to go to Arsenal and play. Like you say, Scott Carson, John Ruddy, Lee Grant, others that have done the role. The third choice goalkeeper of English origin of a certain age, it's a great position to fill. I think I missed out by about 5 years. I could have just about filled it early when I was there. I mean, listen, I could still be doing it now, get fit and sit on the bench for somebody. You're never going to play. Like you say, that is a great role to have. And that's just what Arsenal are doing. There's one thing this summer. It's been very, very quiet around Aaron Ramsdale. There's been not a lot of talk or transfer rumours about him. He's going to be one that's going to be looking to his future. He's got to play. I mean, he's sat on the bench all these Euros for England, but he's now got to look where he is and think, look, the manager didn't quite tell things as it was last season. I didn't play every other game. We didn't get switched in and out. I only played against Brentford when David Raya couldn't play. Clearly, Raya is his number 1 and Ramsdale's his number 2. And for his international career and for his own future at his age, he can't be a number 2 anywhere. He will need to go on and move. And from Arsenal's point of view, to bring Dan Bentley in, that is it's reinforcing the ranks in case they don't get a number 2 in before the start of the season. That's allowing them to do a deal for Ramsdale without leaving themselves short. I think if Ramsdale does go, I think Arsenal will go back into the market. So I don't know that Dan Bentley is still the level that Ramsdale is, or the level that would challenge David Raya. That wouldn't push David Raya. He'd be quite comfortable at number 1, knowing that if he's fit, he plays, because Dan Bentley isn't of the level to play for Arsenal week in and week out. So that's Arsenal bolstering the ranks, putting a number 3 English goalkeeper in their ranks, but also covering themselves for the fact that if Ramsdale does go, it gives them another body in. It gives them another body in the building that gives them time to get a proper number 2 in. Because when and if Ramsdale goes, they're going to need a number 2. And Aaron Ramsdale will go at some point because he needs to play. He's a top quality goalkeeper. He's been very, very unfortunate with the situation that he's found himself in at Arsenal. Harshly treated, but the manager's been proven right when you look at the stats, you look at the clean sheets, you look at the defence, you look at the way that David Raya has played. And I just think from a player's point of view, if it was handled differently to it was in the press, if his man management with Aaron Ramsdale was, look, that's it, you're going to be number 2, this is how it's going to be, and he's spoken to the player, fair enough. But actually how he handled it in the press and said, look, I've got 2 number 1s, they're going to be rotated, that wasn't the case. So his man management there, if that was the case, wasn't great. But for Aaron Ramsdale, he's a top-class goalkeeper who needs to go and play. So that's Arsenal bolstering the ranks and giving Ramsdale the opportunity to get out and go and play this season for a top-class Premier League team, which he will do.
Maybe you should be his agent as well then. You might have to get involved in multiple deals now. That might be the next step. Pete, in terms
that would be an easy one to do, Ramsdale. He's a very good goalkeeper and there will be no shortage of takers for him. The thing he's got to do is he's got to pick the right club. He doesn't want to go to another club and be in the same situation as he's in now. The links with Newcastle, for me, I didn't see them, because Nick Pope's clearly the number one. He's not going to want to go and battle to be a number one with somebody. He needs to go, and he needs to go somewhere to play. Chelsea, I could see him going straight into the starting 11.
It's a big call. I mean, to be fair, the deal could be on for that. Pete, in terms of Riccardo Calafiori, it looks like that deal is progressing from Bologna. Are we expecting that to go through? And in terms of the valuation and timeline, his contract, what's that situation saying, please?
Yeah, I think it's a case of matter of when, not if, this deal does happen now. Talks are ongoing between Arsenal and Bologna, just trying to thrash out a fee for the Italian international. Calafiori is obviously very keen to make this move to Arsenal. I don't think personal terms will be an issue. So, yeah, I think there's a confidence on Arsenal's side that they can get this deal done and over the line. And again, it's another top player who bolsters the defensive ranks of Arsenal, who had the best defence last season in the Premier League. The thing for Calafiori is he's going to find it hard to break up that partnership of Gabriel and William Saliba, who's had an unbelievable tournament with France, Saliba. So he's just enhanced his reputation. It's probably the best defender in Europe for me right now as well. So Calafiori, he's coming in at a difficult time himself, but he's obviously confident in his own ability that he can get regular game time at Arsenal. And the thing for Arsenal, I think, to see in Calafiori that he could possibly fill in at left back as well if required. He is left-sided. So he's versatile and will add options to Mikel Arteta's squad, but it just shows the ambition that Arsenal have got right now, that they're willing to go out here and splash 40 plus million on another centre-back just to strengthen the side. And Mikel Arteta wants to improve that squad just so he can go one step closer next season to try and win the Premier League title and potentially the Champions League as well. So looks a good signing for me for Arsenal. If they were to either lose Gabriel or Saliba to injury, they've got a talented player to come in and play at centre-back as well. And I think it's a good deal at the price as well, because there's a lot of other clubs looking at Calafiori, who was probably one of Italy's better players at the Euros as well. So, yeah, I think good piece of business by Arsenal, and just helps them get stronger, really, if they do get this deal over the line.
And another Euro star, Paul, who could be touted for a move to the Emirates, Danny Olmo. He's got a €6 million release clause, I should say, in his contract. Could Arsenal trigger that this summer? And would he suit Arteta's style of play?
Well, he looks a player, doesn't he? I mean, I don't think he wasn't going to be first choice in this Euros for Spain. And I think the tackle early on in the tournament that cost Pedri the knee injury, sometimes what doesn't work in your favour does work in your favour. I think with Olmo coming into the side, his assists, his goals, and for 60 million, you look at the type of role he could play at Arsenal. Very versatile. He's shown his qualities in the Euros. It'd be an excellent signing. You look at what Arsenal have got in those areas. You still say that they need an out-and-out number 9, but they almost won the league without an out-and-out number 9, like Manchester City did the season before. Is he a player that would complement the midfield, the attacking side? Would he play wide? He wouldn't. He'd probably play, more down the middle. I like him. I think he's a great player. I really do.
And
yeah, they're going to have to be quick if they're going to sign him, because he's got his release clause expires next week. So if anybody wants to meet that 60 million release clause, they're going to have to do it in the next few days. And who knows, by then he could be a European champion as well, because he is going to be key in that Spain team against England as well. But yeah, top player, so no surprise that a lot of the big clubs are looking at him.
And to quickly wrap up, Pete, in terms of exits potentially, who are we expecting to leave the Emirates this summer?
Yeah, I think there will be quite an exodus probably at the Emirates this summer. Mikel Arteta is ready to let a lot of his fringe players go to allow him to bring in a few more signings as well. If Calafiori was to arrive, I'd imagine Jakub Kiwior, the Polish centre-back, could be on the move. There's been talk that he could return to Serie A, with a number of clubs interested on loan deals for him. Nuno Tavares, the left-back, he could be making the move to Lazio as well. He's well down the pecking order. He's been out on loan the last couple of seasons. From Arsenal, Kieran Tierney, we've talked about previously as well. Spent last season out on loan at Real Sociedad. Don't think he has a long-term future at the Emirates either, so he might need to move on. And also Eddie Nketiah, there's been a bit of talk that Marseille could be interested. Roberto De Zerbi is looking to maybe go back to the Premier League and sign a new striker, and Eddie Nketiah is one of the players that's on their list right now as well. And then there's been talk of Emile Smith-Rowe potentially moving on this summer as well, with interest from Fulham and him as well. So yeah, that's a number of players who could be leaving. Obviously, not all of them will leave, I'm sure, because it would leave Mikel Arteta's squad a bit thin. But yeah, I think a lot of those players well down the pecking order in the first team plan. So if they do push for a move, I'm sure Arteta will not stand in their way. And if they can get decent money for some of those players, they will use it to reinvest in the squad elsewhere.
You've just watched a segment from Football Insider's brand new podcast, The Inside Track, with me, Lewis Pearce, alongside the guests on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in. Please do give the video a like, comment your thoughts on the topic, and feel free to share on your social media pages. If you want to listen to the full podcast episode, click the link in the description below. Keep your eyes peeled for plenty more content and exclusives here on The Inside Track.